Hi, welcome back. This is the next segment in building Laura Heine's group number 5 teeny tiny pincushion. So in this segment, we're going to start cutting out our cuttables. It's a quick, brief little segment, not much to this, easy peasy, and then we'll move on to building our pincushion. So we're going to start cutting out our cuttables. I've zoomed you in here so you can get a better look at what I'm doing. And when you cut out your cuttables, you do not need to go all the way to the edge. When I made my first Laura Heine quilt before, I had taken a class from her. I used to trim all the way up to the very edge and cut off every little bit of background. Since taking her class, I realized she does not do that, and she leaves a little bit of the background just to add an extra dimension and an extra pop of color. And you're going to trim all of your cuttable pieces out in the same manner. All this extra piece, you're just going to toss in the garbage. So here is my finished piece. I don't have any exposed bits of Steam-A-Seam 2 or any exposed bits of fabric that aren't fused to Steam-A-Seam 2. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. I usually keep a special spot for all my cuttables because they have a tendency to get lost, especially if they're smaller than this one here. So next we're going to work with one of our floral cuttables. This is a whole sheet. I just wanted to mention that I cut out all of the flowers. So even these half flowers that are along the edge that you're like, where am I going to use that? You might use that to help build the edge of your pincushion, or you might tuck it underneath another flower just to take up space and to add extra elements. You're going to cut these out just like you did the tape measure that we already did. And let's see, we'll start over. We'll do this guy on the edge here. So even though this is really only a partial flower, I'm going to go ahead and use it because surely there will be a spot where we can tuck it in later when we build our pincushion. And even if I choose not to cut out all of the flowers right away, I save that sheet just in case. You might need to take up a little space, or you might need to cover a mistake that you realize as you do your final fuse. So I'm going to cut out all or most of the flowers on the sheet, and then I'll set all of those aside. And like I said, if I don't cut out some of the flowers, I'm going to set those aside as well and save them just in case I need it later on. That's it for this segment. When you join me next time, you should have all your background pieces cut out and squared up. All of your pincushion pieces should be trimmed up with no extra Steam-A-Seam 2 or any extra fabric exposed around the edges. Those don't need to be squared up, and then you should have all of your cuttables cut out and set aside, and then we'll start building our pincushion.